give you a little bit of the history of this one. At the beginning of the pandemic, during all the lockdowns, what was that, 3 years ago? 4 years ago now. We're on the 4-year anniversary of having to stay at our houses. It was difficult for everybody. I'm not trying to say that it was more difficult for me. I would never make that assumption, but I was in an interesting situation at the time. My girlfriend, now my fiance, had just moved in. I like to call her my ex-girlfriend now because she's my fiance. I think that's a good joke. She didn't find it funny at first, but now she's gotten used to me introducing her that way. Anyhow, she had just moved in. And I was a bit of a lone wolf at the time, used to my own space. So we had to get used to not only living with each other, but not being able to leave a 2-bedroom apartment, trial by fire. And all the different anxieties and things that were going around at the time, and people trying to figure out the new reality and navigate the fears and stay up to date on the news and stay healthy and wash your hands. And good God, isn't it hard to not touch your face? And then John Prine died. Sometime in the first couple weeks. And that was kind of the straw that broke the back, the floodgates opened up, and everything that I was feeling just came out. And I wrote this tune because it felt like the end of the world, didn't it? Here's the hyperbole I was telling you about earlier. I went outside and I stood and thought, oh man, why John Prine? We need John Prines in this big old crazy world. So the first verse is for John. The second verse is for my ex-girlfriend, who I'm gonna marry in June. And the third verse is just about writing songs. This one's called One More Song at the End of the World. Well, the night John died, there was a big full moon. 20 years too late, about 10 too soon. So I sat down with a beer in my kitchen and cried, thinking all about how I miss all of my friends, thinking about beauty in the way that it ends with a little hard news and one last lullaby. So here we've come to the end of the road. If you love somebody now, you'd best let them know. One more song at the end of the world. Pack it up, let it all unfurl, then just let it go. Well, the girl I love, she chews her chips too loud. She sheds like a collie, leaves the toilet seat down. But she loves me, even though I do the dishes all wrong. Well, you can't have love without a couple of laughs, and take those 2 laughs and cut them both in half. And that's the kind of love you can find in a John Prine song. Here we've come to the end of the road. If you love somebody now, you best let them know. One more song at the end of the world. Pack it up, let it all unfurl, then just let it go. sometimes all I need is just a simple tune to tag along behind me, then before too soon that pesky old song, it gets a hold of me. Take a handful of rhymes, a couple of words, stick them all together, then rest assured you can make the whole world a paradise melody. Here we've come to the end of the road. If you love somebody now, you'd best let them know. One more song at the end of the world. Pack it up, let it all unfurl, then just let it go. Here we've come to the end of the road. If you love somebody now, you'd best let them know. One more song at the end of the world. Pack it up, let it all unfurl, then just let it go. Yes, that's right. It's one more song at the end of the world. Thank you. We made a little kind of like set list. I almost never make set lists. And Blair and I went over and we sat down and we kind of talked out the songs, you know, like. Yeah, just over there. And I think we haven't played very many songs that were on the list. Just keep throwing them curveballs. All right. Here's one we haven't done in a real long time either. When I was 14 years old, I took a bunch of paper route money and I bought a 1971 Volkswagen Westphalia. I bought my first car 2 years before I was allowed to drive. And so I just it's a Volkswagen Westphalia, it's a camper, right? So I would just hang out in the laneway. It had a table in it, its own little living room, and I'd do my homework in there. And oh, goodness gracious, the day that... You remember that thing parked in the high school parking lot, Terry? Yeah. I was a hero at lunch break, man. We just go out into the parking lot, pop the roof, everybody would sit and eat their lunch. I learned right after I met Blair and we became friends and started playing music together that he and his first band came and took a bunch of band photos in front of my van outside my parents' house in Canada. Because it was a cool vehicle. You know, it was school bus orange. Yeah. We should have taken a band photo in front of it before I got rid of it. I sold it just recently. For a while, it sat in a barn in Carp, Ontario. But I drove that thing across country a number of times. And I used to work at a summer camp up in Low, Quebec on the Martindale Road. Kind of my second home. And one day I was driving it up there and the fuse box caught fire. And I rolled the windows down. It must have looked like a Cheech and Chong movie. Everybody who went by would have saw the Volkswagen van and they would have been like, typical. But little did they know that there was a 18-year-old guy dealing with an electrical fire in there. So I just kicked the fuse box until the fire went out. And because it's a rather simple machine, everything still worked except for the radio and the headlights and the signal lights. So I just kept driving. But I didn't have a radio. And I love listening to music when I drive, so I started humming a little tune. And before I knew it, I had the workings of this next song. It's just a silly little song about my Volkswagen van. And I called it the Van Song. She's got color, she's got style and grace. Big clear eyes and a smile upon her face. Just to see her move is something to behold. She's a legend in her time, but she's getting old. So if you can't see my van for what it's worth, don't say cruel things about her, 'cause it hurts. My first love is not a woman or a girl. She's the greatest little van in the whole wide world. When she's climbing hills, it sounds like she's in pain. She can lose her grip when she's a-running in the rain. But if you listen close, she'll sing a pretty tune. She'll sing it in the sun and sing it under the moon. So if you can't see my van for what it's worth, don't say cruel things about her, 'cause it hurts. My first love's not a woman or a girl. She's the greatest little van in the whole wide world. Come on, Hogan. Almost feels like chase music. For a number of years, the van fell into disrepair, and I'd moved out of the house, but I didn't have anywhere to store it, so I just left it in my parents' laneway. And the leaves on the tree in the front yard would fall on the roof, and then smaller trees would grow out of it. Every once in a while, something would split open and it'd leak oil into the street, and my mom was furious. It was an eyesore in the neighborhood, you see. But my dad loved the van as much as I did. In my mind, this is how it happened. They came to me in solidarity, and they said, this isn't how it happened, but for the sake of the song, sell her off so that she can die alone. Don't let her clutter up our happy home. But with each new spot of rust, my love just grows. She puts the youth back in my soul, and I know it shows. So if you can't see my van for what it's worth, don't say cruel things about her, 'cause it hurts. My first love is not a woman or a girl. She's the greatest little van in the whole wide world. So if you see us out now driving in the sun, to this day we're escaping on the run. If I'm running road, she'll always be there by my side. Just me and my little van until the day we die. Just me and my little van until the day we die. Just me and my little van until the day we die. Thank you very much. A love song. Yeah. That song's been through different versions. We had kind of like a Little Feat sort of funky version of that tune, yeah. You want to do Wilder or Time to Get a Gun? Yeah? Well, I got a little bit of good news on the break. Apparently, Fred Eaglesmith is going to be playing some shows again. He's been off the road for a while. He's got some family in the audience. And Blair and I are both very big fans of Fred's music. We played this one the last time we were here, but we'll do it again because it's just such a beautiful song and it bears repeating. This one's called Wilder Than Her. Well, I'm wilder than her. What else can I say? I guess that's probably why she fell in love with me. 'Cause she's a house on fire. She's got all the house on fire too, but I've got 4 alarms. Yes, I'm wilder than her, drives her out of her mind. I guess she thought that she was just one of a kind, but she's a summer storm. I'm a hurricane. One just blows through town, the other, it blows the town away. And I'm wilder than her. We go driving in our cars, racing through the night. She can drive as fast as me, but she stops at all the lights. She says it's 'cause I'm crazy. She's probably right, but I think that the reason is that I'm twice as wild. Oh, and I'm wilder than her, drives her out of her mind. I guess she thought that she was just one of a kind. Oh, but she's a summer storm. I'm a hurricane. One just blows through town, the other blows the town away. And I'm wilder than her. When she takes my hand and she looks me in the eye, I see something that I never seen in my life. She takes the fire, turns it down low. She takes the night and makes it not so cold. She takes the distance, breaks it into miles. She makes my life just a little less wild. Oh, and I'm wilder than her, drives her out of her mind. I guess she thought that she was just one of a kind. She's a summer storm. Just blows through town, the other, it blows the town away. And I'm wilder than her. Yes, and I'm wilder than her. Oh, I'm wilder than her. Thank you.